Hey, what is going on? The Catch fam. I hope everyone out there is doing fantastic tonight. Hope you guys are having a wonderful Monday. And of course, I hope you guys are ready to hop into a live 2024 fantasy football mock draft with you guys, of course, with the Catch fam. We've got a full house tonight already. 12 team full PPR, pretty standard settings, one quarterback, two running backs, two wide receivers, tight end. Got two flex spots and five bench spots. And joining us tonight is Pete with After the Review Sports. Pretty much a regular here on the channel at this point. But what's going on, Pete?
Not much. It was a busy day. I was in the path of totality, so that was kind of cool. Having the eclipse nonsense going on, and then got the college national championship game going on in the background. But let's get to it. Let's draft. We're in fantasy mode. It's only April, but we're in fantasy mode.
You gotta be. You have to be prepared. Did you see the clips?
Oh yeah, it was pretty. Honestly, it doesn't descriptions and hype don't do it justice. Like you kind of just have to see it in person. It's really weird. It gets pitch black. You can stare at the sun with no glasses on. It's kind of crazy.
I did not see it, but I saw a picture.
Yeah.
So I'll take that. It looked
Hey,
cool.
yeah, 2045 or 2044. So in 20 years, we got this. We got this next one.
It's gonna be a while. And we just had one in 2017. So I'm like, I don't understand that, but someone smarter than me does. So yeah, we're gonna give
Stick
this
to what we
about,
know. Stick to what we know.
give this about another 30 seconds or so. Then we're kicking off at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. So any second here. Tom says I didn't get a notification about this draft. Just make sure you are on our Discord, which link should be in the description down below. It's free to join, and that is where all of the notifications go out. So we'll get you in on the next one, Tom. And we're starting this mock draft, so let's do it. CMC off the board at the 1-1. So let me ask you this question. As of now, as of April 4th, right? Or April 8th. Sorry.
Oh, big change. I might have 4
I
days
looked
ago.
down at I saw the 4. I meant to say 8, but as of today, right? So you've got at the top of the board a running back and a wide receiver, right? So CMC and CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb being the wide receiver 1 last season, and CMC being the RB1 of last season. So where do you lie? Do you want to take the running back, or do you want to take a wide receiver? Even if it's not CeeDee Lamb, which position are you leaning towards?
I think in PPR, you got to go wide receiver. There are a few exceptions. CMC might be that exception because he does have a high volume catch rate, but I hate picking at the top, like 1-1. I can't stand it. It feels like 2 of the top 3 or 4 guys always get hurt every year. Running back, I think, is a position that you can draft towards the end of the first round high, but there's just so many guys that come out of nowhere that you don't know about. There's or a rookie or a second year guy, or somebody gets injured and they turn into a machine. Think of Kenneth Walker slid last year and he had a really, really solid season. So I would lean more wide receiver, even though there's kind of a million of those. Those top end wideouts just win you weeks.
Yeah, it's tough right now because generally speaking, I do go wide receiver. And it's like coming off the season that C-Mac had, it's just tough. It really is. I almost missed my pick right there. So last mock that we ran Sunday night, I think I also had the 1.8. And I went with Bijan, but tonight for fun, I'm going to go Breece Hall. And we kind of talked about this on the last mock. It's like that kind of tier of running back right there, like Gibbs, Hall, Robinson, maybe even a couple other names you could throw in there, like Saquon Barkley, who just got drafted, or Kyron Williams, maybe even JT. I feel like a lot of these guys are really close. I can understand kind of the pass catching upside that Gibbs and Hall, Bijan have, that maybe pushes them a little bit higher. But I really feel like whoever you like out of that bunch, it's kind of hard to argue against. But the younger guys also, I don't know, less wear and tear, people like that.
I think that was the exact opposite of what we had on Sunday. I think it went Bijan, Hall, Gibbs, and now it's Gibbs,
Yeah,
Hall, Bijan. So yeah, those three guys are right in that spot. They went a little bit earlier too, because I think I was at the 110 and I
I think you're
scooped
right.
up Gibbs. So yeah, I like those three. I think that that's a perfect spot. If you're picking in that area, I don't think you can go wrong with any of those picks. Now, obviously, injury, fingers crossed. I like that pick with A Chain there. Injuries crossed, but I think that's a really good spot to scoop up, running backs 2, 3, and 4. Saquon, even if you want to.
Mm.
You just don't quite know with the Eagles what they're gonna do, what that's gonna look like. No Jason Kelsey, but yeah, that I like the running backs at the back end of the first round, start of the second round.
So, how do you feel about like I still love Saquon, and I think where he's being drafted is appropriate. But how worried are you about his landing spot with the Eagles and the fact that Jalen Hurts scores a lot of rushing
I
touchdowns?
I think they're gonna get rid of the tush push because there's no Kelsey. Like Kelsey was kind of the anchor of that tush push. You can now just hand it to Saquon. I'm not a huge fan of my quarterback taking all those hits. Hurts was clearly hurt last year, and they didn't really talk about it. Like there was clearly something bugging him. Give the ball to Saquon. He's got those tree trunk legs. He'll go pick up 2 yards for you. So I think that's okay. But Philly kind of rotates backs. They don't care. But maybe now that they know, like Sirianni knows he's getting fired and they spent money on Saquon, like maybe I'm just gonna have to ride Saquon here in these situations. But is the wear and tear gonna get to Barkley? I don't know. He's been injured before. He's been healthy the last 2 seasons, but he's got a lot of miles on the tread now because of that, because he's had a lot of touches with New York. Um, I think it's a wait and see though, but Saquon
Sure.
always finds the end zone. He's a guy who finds the end zone.
This is true. So I kind of did the opposite of what you did. I went double running back. I really didn't want to. I really want to go wide receiver there, but it's kind of an odd tier of wide receiver after Wilson goes, because then you got, I mean, we see Adams, Marvin Harrison Jr., Olave, Ayuk, Moore, London, Evans, and now Rashee Rice on a row. And it feels like almost like you're slightly reaching for some of those names, maybe at the 2-5. So I decided to go with another young running back and go for some upside with A Chain there. But I,
You're
there,
selling you. It feels like you're selling your DJ Moore stock a little bit this year. You're a little lukewarm on just the offense has got more mouths to feed.
well, I mean that's probably part of it, but the big thing with me is just always ADP, right? And like I was really comfortable with his ADP last year. Right now, like him sitting at the 211, I don't hate it. I'm okay with it. I just don't know if I 100% love it. Let's see here. So Rashad White goes at the 3-4, a little bit earlier than the mock we ran on Sunday, but I'm all for that. So I'm gonna go wide receiver here. And I don't like this pick, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go Stephon Diggs.
Okay.
Who do you who do you like between Jalen Waddle, Stephon Diggs, and I don't know, DK Metcalf? Like the next name.
Uh,
Do
that's
you
a
like
tough.
Jalen? Do you like Jalen Waddle more than Diggs?
Probably not.
Yeah,
I just he was hurt last year. He was super inconsistent. Miami's another offense where like he does not care who gets the ball. Um, A Chain and Mostert get almost all the touchdowns, I feel like, and then anything left goes to Tyreek, and everybody else is just kind of like, sorry guys, we can only score 70 points every once in a while, you know. So I think that's the right. I do like DK. I want to see who Seattle's quarterback is first. I kind of want to see where that because
sure,
If it's Sam Howell, yeah, he got traded. That's where he got traded. If it's Sam
it is.
Howell over Geno, I kind of like DK a lot because Sam
Sure,
Howell will just throw it up there and DK would
sure.
just go catch it. But I think Diggs is the safest out of those three.
Yeah, I had a fair amount of Jalen Waddle shares last year, and I don't know. It didn't work for me. So I think I just have trust issues. So
That's how it always works, right? Once burned, you're always burned. And a guy that you ride to the end, even if you probably shouldn't, who's been good for you, you're gonna keep riding him.
100%. Taylor says Rice at the 3.2 is nuts. Yeah, I mean, we talked about this last stream too. It's like he's not going to be suspended for that many games. Like, if you like him, I mean, we're going to see his kind of ADP kind of shift up and down, and well, until the situation is settled, right? And I do like him right there at the 3.2 if you can get him at that value, because I think there's a chance that he starts to go at a higher draft price.
There's a super high upside to Rice too.
Yeah.
Like, say it's one game, maybe it's two. We saw him in the postseason and down the stretch there. He became a guy Mahomes throws the ball to, and he throws short passes to him. He catches a lot of them, and then he chunks out yards. 3-yard catch goes for 15, 2-yard catch goes for 8, and those are the kind of guys you want at that spot. He's just going to rack up a lot of cheap, easy points for you.
I mean, in full PPR, he did not have double digits just 5 times in games he started last year, and 2 of those games he hit like 9.6 and 9.7, so just barely missed the mark. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny because it's like year after year, we're like, oh, another rookie wide receiver to the Chiefs. Don't trust them. Sky Moore 2.0. And then it's like Rashee Rice has this huge year, so hard to predict, but you have to imagine that with the, tread on Kelsey's tires and, they can only rely on Pacheco so much, right? That between Hollywood and Rashee Rice, you're going to see a ton of targets between both those guys. So
they need to really hit on that rookie wide receiver. I think they're taking at the back end of the first round.
I mean, if they do, it's just like, it's huge, right? I mean, this offense should be in line for a three-peat, right?
Every year they find a way to do it, and they brought back basically everybody on the defense. They lost McDuffie, but he was getting kind of old. Or Snead, yeah, that's it. Yeah, he's getting old up there, Snead. So it's like, whatever, he'll be okay. It's Mahomes. They're never losing. Why do we even play football or care about football? Our teams are never winning.
Emil, good to see you. What's going on? Good to see everyone else in the chat. J Dubs, Chase, both Chases. Good to see you guys. Speaking of Chases, I don't really like Rice either, but took a risk. So yeah, it's hard to say. Taylor, is this Rice at the 3.2 is nuts in a good way or a bad way? Emil says Sam Howell will end up starting. I mean, I love Sam Howell. Like I just like quarterbacks who kind of suck but also don't suck. So I'm rooting for Sam Howell all the way.
If he could just not take like sacks like he takes, like I feel like he needs to throw the ball away sometimes. He takes a ton of sacks for a guy who's not Justin Fields running around. Just get rid of it, Sam. But yeah, he's not bad. He's better than Geno, I think.
I would agree. And it kind of sucks because we had the Geno 2.0 2 years ago, and whatever we got last year was just a huge disappointment. But I mean, I liked rooting for Geno too, so it's kind of ironic. But let's see. Suspended or not, Chiefs are bringing in more pass catchers. This is true. So I guess Taylor does not like him. But I really like Rashee Rice. Who am I picking here? Actually, a couple names, but I'm going to go Christian Kirk because I've gone very veteran-esque at wide receiver so far. And not to say that Kirk isn't a veteran at this point, but I still think he's kind of young. So I'm very PPR oriented at wide receiver right now, which I'll take.
Which is good. I
guess
got a lot of guys. You got number 2 guys that are going to see number 1 type volume.
Sure. Caleb says, I traded away AJ Brown to get Garrett Wilson and a first-round pick this year. Did I win? I mean, I'm perfectly okay with this trade, especially if it's an early first rounder. I'm okay with it because I still believe in Garrett Wilson, and I still think we would have seen a very, very different year from Garrett Wilson last year if obviously Aaron Rodgers didn't get hurt. So, but it's also like there's a point last season where AJ Brown was on that pace of breaking NFL records, and he did finish as a wide receiver 8. And obviously he's still tied to Jalen Hurts' hip, right? So, but I'm okay with the trade. I do think
It
Go ahead.
might burn you short term, like next season, but worst case scenario, Garrett Wilson demands a trade out of New York, and somebody who has a good quarterback trades for him. So now it's like, oh yeah, I have Garrett Wilson with, I don't know, somebody. I'm trying to think of like an NFC quarterback that would like who's kind of young that would trade from.
Just
I don't know.
anyone.
I was gonna say Josh Allen and the Bills, but that's not happening in division. Sorry.
How do you feel about the Bills from a fantasy perspective next year? Like Josh Allen, I mean, obviously year after year finds a way to finish as like the QB1. I mean, he's been the QB1 every year since 2020, except 2022, where he was the QB2. Do we have confidence in Josh Allen? Because this roster is
I
very
I
different.
like the running. I think the running game's good now, like competent
Sure.
to an extent. So I do like that. I think, I like Shakir. They're probably going to draft a wide receiver in the first round.
Yeah.
Buffalo, another team, or a high second round, whatever they do with it. So I think they'll be okay. I like James Cook if I like anybody on that offense.
I agree.
I think Josh Allen might revert back to Josh Allen and turn the ball over a little bit too much next year because he doesn't have the playmakers or anything, and he forces some balls that he probably shouldn't force in there. But maybe not. Maybe he just like, I don't have Stephon Diggs. I don't have to force the rock. I can be conservative. We can run the rock. So I don't know. We'll see. 50-50 on the Bills right now.
Yeah. I have a bad feeling, but
Yeah, I can see that.
I have a feeling that Allen could still easily be a top 5 fantasy quarterback. And because it's kind of like last year, in terms of like single quarterback redraft, we were seeing Allen, Hurts, and Mahomes like all go easily in the first 3 rounds, but sometimes like all 3 of them are gone by the end of the second. Like it was a really heavy year at quarterback in terms of quarterbacks going early. And this year doesn't really feel that way because it didn't really pay off.
Yeah, Mahomes was terrible last
Yeah.
year.
I mean, he was QB8, and then Hurts I mean, he was the QB2, but it didn't feel like it.
I like literally his 1-yard touchdown runs kind of saved Hurts's whole
True.
thing. And he was bad down the stretch. Like you got
Yeah.
all your scoring early, so come playoff time, come winning time, you weren't getting the production you needed out of him as your high drafted quarterback. So
When you really think about it, that team they just really fell apart at the end of the season. It was like hard to watch.
it was really hard to watch.
But really, when you look at his numbers compared to the season before, he had more passing touchdowns, more passing yards. He did have less rushing touchdowns, but he had more less rushing yards, but more rushing touchdowns. He did have 5 lost fumbles. So, I don't know. You know how I am. That's just interesting to me. But yeah, I think I'm going late quarterback. The thing is, and like we've kind of talked about this a little bit, is like I want to like hold off and draft CJ Stroud a lot, but I just feel like come August, CJ Stroud is going to be going like before Mahomes and Lamar Jackson in some drafts. Like, because right now you can get Stroud in some mocks like around the 7th. He goes at the 6.8 tonight, which I would be fine with. But I just really feel like he's going to be one of those names that creeps up draft boards as the offseason continues to progress. So I don't know. I'm probably just going to hold off and go late round quarterback.
Yeah, and could somebody go wild card? Like, because I know most people here are drafting serious fantasy, but I know everyone's in a family league or two. Like, people could go wild card, like, ooh, I like CJ Stroud. I'm taking him early. Or, ooh, I like Caleb Williams. I'm taking Caleb Williams way, 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 way too early for that. So that could help out some things if people do that. Maybe you can get a better value quarterback that slides a little bit. But because what do we had 2 quarterbacks through the first 4 rounds. You're probably not going to see that in a standard home league.
Probably not. And I actually want to talk about the tier of quarterbacks that we're in a minute here after I figure out who I'm going to draft.
You're going to draft a quarterback.
No. I'm gonna reach a little, but I just really like DeAndre Swift, and if someone else takes him, I'm gonna be really sad. I'm a little surprised that Swift is still going where he's going. Like, I mean, this offense will be very different, but I mean, are people really worried about Roshan Johnson and Khalil Herbert? Because I feel like it's gonna be clear as day that Swift is the number one guy there.
Yeah,
But
I think so too.
I like Swift a lot more than both Washington running backs, Javonte Williams, Nick Chubb, a lot of the names. I mean, basically all the names on the board right now at running back. So, but maybe that I am a DeAndre Swift lover. So,
That's fair. That is fair.
but yeah, how do you feel about kind of like because right now, like all the exciting quarterbacks are gone, right? Like the rushing upside guys are basically gone, other than Justin Fields, but that's a different story. But
That's
like,
yeah.
I mean, I guess Kyler's available, but like, I don't know, just like Burrow, Prescott, Purdy, Lawrence, Tua, like Stafford, kind of like these, and they got Murray and Fields sprinkled in there. Herbert's there. It's like, who stands out from this tier? Kirk Cousins, like,
You're about to
yeah,
find out who stands out from this tier.
okay, okay, then we'll leave it. We'll leave it
There we
because
go. It's waiting in 2 picks. We're about to see who stands
okay,
out in this tier. But yes, I think somebody stands out in this tier a little bit. Um, you know, there's 3 offenses that people are gonna like here. There's probably 2 or more quarterbacks, but I shit talked a little bit on
oh,
Sunday, but
that surprises me. Yeah,
I think contract year might
okay,
be garbage fantasy point time for Dak Prescott. I think we
okay,
might see a lot of, oh, Cowboys are down 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns in the third quarter, fourth quarter. Dak throws a Garbo touchdown. They get 14 points and they lose the game by 3. I think we might see a lot of that, especially when you get to this tier, like you said. Nothing crazy. I do like Kyler. I think the Cardinals might be pretty decent this year. I do think Kyler and that offense, if he's healthy, could be interesting. Jordan Love, I'm not a Jordan Love believer. Not that guy. Just not him. And they're going to run the ball with Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs is going to get a ton of volume in that offense.
he is. Yeah, I like the Prescott pick. That's probably in that tier who I like the best as well. And I also agree. I like Kyler a lot where he's going in mocks right now too. But Dak, you can say whatever you want to say about Dak or the Cowboys, and I probably won't argue with you. But Dak year after year is just a reliable fantasy quarterback. And he was QB3 last year, so um, I'm definitely good, and I think you make a good point about him being in the contract season and everything as well. But I still kind of like Joe Burrow in that tier too. You know,
I'm just worried about the injury. Like the injuries
yeah,
are now a thing. I'm kind of worried about. Now we could get Joe Burrow crazy man year, revenge year. The Bengals are going to the Super Bowl. We could get that year, and then
sure.
you make out like a bandit. Yeah, they don't know how to run the foot. They don't really know how to run the football in Cincinnati. So I'm maybe that I'm expecting them to draft a running back. Probably. I don't know. I don't know what the Bengals are doing.
I don't either. Um, okay. So let me ask you this question: out of the wide receivers that are gone in this round, Mike Williams, Marvin Mims, Jamison Williams, who do you like the best?
I like Mike Williams the best.
Okay,
Big
I re-
target.
yeah,
Aaron Rodgers, I like that red zone guy.
fair.
Is JMO ever going to learn the offense in Detroit? I just God knows what's going on there. Denver, who's playing quarterback for the Broncos?
I have no idea.
Exactly. We don't Bo Nix, maybe. We're gonna throw a kid in there who throws the ball 3 yard now. Maybe it's just like Marvin Mims catches 30 passes a game because everything's a 3 yard slant like it was in New Orleans. So he could be that, Michael Thomas-esque, I want to say, just catch 2 yard routes. And so that gives you big fantasy days if he goes, 11 catches for 82 yards. I'll be like, hey, I'll take that out of my flex.
I really like Jamison Williams. Call me
Oh,
crazy.
I just I don't know. It feels like he's like that guy. It feels like there's always something up with him. Like, what is going on with this guy?
I
Why
felt
why
like
isn't
he's
he playing?
he started to kind of fill in nicely in the playoffs, and like I don't know, when you're just watching a player or football, and you're like, I feel like he's starting to blend in well. With Josh Reynolds gone, I feel like he's going to have the opportunity to step up as the number two. But then the question becomes, is he actually going to step up or not? Because there were frustrating times last year for sure. But I like him. That's my guy in that area. Gosh, I keep getting sniped, man.
You're going Love.
I probably don't need to draft another running. I went Austin Eckler in the eighth. How gross is that?
That I mean, he was like the third or fourth pick last year. That's the times they are changing.
I know. I kind of just was like, my running backs are all like upside, so I'll take it. Caleb asks, "What's your opinion on DK Metcalf in Dynasty?" I feel like personally, Metcalf's never going to change, which is not a bad thing. Like, is the upside massive with DK Metcalf? No, you probably know what type of stat line you're going to get like on a year-to-year basis out of him, and he's played with a number of quarterbacks at this point and has still found a way to be like top 20-ish wide receiver on a year-to-year basis. So in full PPR, I'm fine with Metcalf in the long term, personally. But it's hard to get like super excited. Um, so if you're holding Metcalf, I'm good with him. Okay, I need to actually like figure out what I want to do. Neighbors at 4.7, great pick. Where do you guys think Neighbors is landing? Heard this
Gosh.
today.
Um, I can tell you definitively. Um, I don't think Arizona's going to take him at 4. If Arizona stays put, I think they go Marvin Harrison. If the 4 quarterbacks are gone, the Giants are taking him. The Giants are taking a wide receiver at 6 if the quarterbacks are gone. But if JJ McCarthy's there, the Giants are taking a quarterback. So he could slide a little bit, like the wide receivers in that 9, 8, 9, 10, 11 area. It's going to be really interesting because it's just going to be such a quarterback heavy draft. It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, it is tough to say. Chat, let us know what you guys think. And if there's any other landing spots that you guys feel confident for other wide receivers, let us know. Meal says Bills are going to trade up for Harrison Jr. That would be
They don't have the
intriguing.
cap. They do not have the capital to
Yeah,
move up that high. They do not. They can't move into the top 4. They'd have. I mean, they'd have to move to 4 or 5.
that'd be tough, but it would be exciting.
Uh,
Still not big on DeAndre Swift behind a worse O line. And this is your own team, J Dubs. I mean, they've made some moves at offensive line throughout the offseason, but I mean, this is a fair point. Should probably listen to the Bears insider here. Hearing rumors of Bowers to Indy on a trade up. We'll see.
I could see that because he's kind of stuck in no man's land. He doesn't really fit the Jets off. People have the Jets taking him at 11, and he just kind of doesn't fit their offense, and they don't need a tackle anymore. So it's kind of it's really awkward. Or I shouldn't say 11, 10. The Jets are at 10. Vikings are at 11. Duh. It's just kind of really awkward on how everything's going to play out. Once we see what the quarterbacks do, I don't think the draft starts till pick number 3. Whatever New England does, then that's going to kind of domino what everybody else is doing.
Yeah. And I mean, the Colts do love drafting tight ends. So
He fits. They need get a tight end. I'm a big rookie quarterback, good tight end. I know AR's not really. He's a rookie still, kind of. He hasn't
sure.
played. He
That's
only
fair
played
to
4
say.
or 5 games. So
Michael, good to see you, man. Hope you're doing fantastic. Thanks for being here tonight. Giants might take Rome, in my opinion. They are in need of a big wide receiver. Yeah, now we got these rumors, that CeeDee Lamb is not going to be at like voluntary training camp or whatever it is, and like
for
now people are
the
saying he might hold out.
yeah, I mean, It's crazy if he's going to hold out when Diggs still hasn't gotten paid. Like, wouldn't you want to wait till Jefferson gets paid? I know they're the same draft class, but don't you want Jefferson to get paid first because he's going to reset the market and then you can tell Jerry to go, I was better than Jefferson last year, pay me more? Because that's what I would do. Because if CD just wants to go now, okay, Jefferson's going to beat your contract.
This is probably true. I would like to see Jefferson get paid soon by somebody. Do you want JJ to stay a Viking or not?
Absolutely. I'm not stupid. I'm a smart person. Of course, he's the best wide receiver in football. I mean, he's definitely entering his prime as the best wide receiver in football. So that's where I'm going with that. Like, yeah, pay him. He's really good. He makes a big difference, especially if you have a rookie quarterback that you're not paying that can throw the ball to him. That helps.
Shane, good to see you, man. I took a look at your trade, by the way, in Dynasty, and I didn't even realize that I have the 1.1. Is that did I read that right? Hold on. I think if I have the 1.1, I want to keep it. But and it wouldn't surprise me because I suck at fantasy. But your trade wasn't an awful trade. I contemplated it. I do have the 1.1 though, right? Because if I do, I kind of want to keep it. Okay, I gotta make a draft pick. There's no running backs that I like. Zeke is available. Is Zeke even on a team?
Nope.
Not
a Charbs guy? You don't think Charbs gonna see?
I was about to say I actually kind of like Charbonnet.
I thought about taking Charbs.
I'll take Charby. He's more intriguing than Adam Thielen or Gabe Davis. So, see, I really want to start like paying attention to wide receivers who are available at this point because I always like to go hunting for wide receivers at the end of the draft. But man, it's really gross. I think there's some interesting rookies, but it's gross, dude. And running back, same deal. Like Tyler Algier, kind of interesting as like a handcuff. Kendre Miller, kind of interesting. You got Keaton Mitchell is probably worth drafting, I guess.
Yeah, with the way Baltimore running backs drop like flies.
Yeah, you know Henry's there. Where did Henry go tonight?
Relatively high,
I think. Why don't I see
4.8? He went 4.8.
I feel like he went earlier in the last draft. Which he's definitely a guy who can move around a little bit. I feel okay about my team tonight. So far, we got one more pick. All right. Which rookie wide receiver goes to Buffalo? Where do they?
That depends. Let me think. Maybe it's Xavier Worthy. I kind of have him pegged to Kansas City though. Keon Coleman, another interesting wide receiver.
It's such a deep class too. I feel like we're gonna see. Yeah, I do like Xavier Worthy as an option, but I feel like we're gonna see a lot of wide receivers go early second as well.
Well, remember last year, like we didn't have a wide receiver go, and then was it 4 straight or 5 straight came off the board at the end, kind of at the back end of the first round. So I think we'll see the first 3 go relatively high. I mean, not as high as they should go, but they'll probably first 3 in the first 15 picks, and then we'll probably see another run of like 3 or 4 guys at the back end of the first round because most of those teams could always, use a wide receiver.
Yeah. And like 2 years ago was a pretty deep class, and that was the year where we're expecting a lot more to go in the first round, and then like corners and linebackers or whatever started to go, and then at the beginning of the second, a couple more wide receivers went off the board.
Yeah, I think everyone's kind of just gun shy a little bit. It's like,
yeah. What's going on, Spence? Good to see you, bro.
Good vibes as always.
Oh, Shane has the 1.1. Oh, then I don't like that trade. See, thinking of it the other way, I do like the trades. It would be a good trade if I did the trade with you. But I just remind me if you guys are sending me dynasty trades because I'm trying to actually look at them. Coast to coast, what's going on? Okay, let me know if you guys want me to take a look at your guys' team. Can you recommend a high purse PPR fantasy league one could join the new fantasy season? I don't know what high purse is. That's probably a typo.
Like high payout, like
Oh,
yeah, high purse.
I would just keep posting on our Discord and ask people because
Tell
that's
your bummy friends to fork up $200
yeah.
and play in a 12-team league. There you go. There's a high purse right there.
Oh, high purse. I get it.
Yeah.
I'm not okay. I get it. Yeah, I mean, people will start sending out their leagues on our Discord as we get closer to the season. Okie doke. How are we looking at the 1.5? We got Chase Adams, Samuel Cooper, and JMO. I like the wide receiver core. Kind of late round running back strat. We got Henry, Pollard, Singletary, Gus the Bus. I do kind of like Gus right now where he's going. It's like RB4, but Chargers can definitely add to this running back core, but I like him. Singletary doesn't feel as exciting, but we'll see what happens. I like Fergie at 9.5, Bowers, Caleb Williams, CJ Stroud. I mean, I'd probably just hold off on Caleb here, but it's fine. Maybe go for additional wide receiver running back is what I would do because I think Stroud's going to be that dude all season long. So we're starting Stroud and Fergie, Henry and Pollard, Chase and Adams, flexing Debo, flexing Cooper. Love this team. Yeah. Maybe not my favorite like bench guys, but really solid core roster. So maybe it would pay off. Let's see. In Dynasty Superflex, does it seem crazy to tear down or sell high on Hurts? Nah, no. But like we talked about earlier, keep in mind he was the QB2 last year. It just feels like that kind of magic this offense had like 2 seasons ago might not be sticking around long term, and there's gonna be more and more pressure on Jalen Hurts, but also there's a lot of pressure on Nick Sirianni, and could see a very different offense coming up. So no. In a 1 QB league, would you trade Lamb in London for the 1-1 and 1-3? Have Burrow already? No, not in a single quarterback. I mean, you could, but I just really like CeeDee Lamb in Dynasty, and I like London a lot. London for the 1.3 doesn't feel as crazy. Hi, Andrew. Good to see you. All right, Boxing Jacks at the 1-9. So we've got Captain Kirk and Trevor Lawrence. Like if you're going to go late round quarterback, if you get both those guys, I'm happy. I'm fine. I'm good. Komet at tight end should be fine, even with Everett there. Bijan, Jacobs, Mostert, Moss, Mitchell, good running back core. Wilson Smith, Hollywood, Deontay, Greg Dortch. I mean, this is a solid team. Nothing crazy jumping off paper here, but a lot of good value throughout this draft. I don't know how I feel about Greg, the Torch.
Greg Dortch. He was a guy for like 2 weeks last year.
And then in 2022, remember this game? 19 fantasy points. And then in week 16, 22 fantasy points. I remember this stretch because beginning of this season, because he was a part of a trade where I got Greg Dortch and then he did nothing. Anyways, yeah, this team looks fine. I mean, starting Cousins or Lawrence, Komet, Bijan and Jacobs, Wilson and Devonta, then probably flexing Hollywood and Deontay. So you got some guys left over that can fill in. So I'm good with it. Help them at the 1-6. What's going on, man? We got Patty Mahomes, and we've got Jaden Daniels, a guy we talked about last stream a bit. Kittle, tight end. I mean, Kittle was basically what he always was last season. So
he will win you one game. He will win you one game.
Tight end 5, you know.
Yeah, no, he'll throw up he's solid, but he'll throw up a 22-pointer for you and win you that week. I
I
love
mean,
me George Kittle.
it's always 4, 6, 16, 1,
Yeah,
27, 1, 13, 23. I mean,
yeah.
but
Win you
tight end's always
weeks.
volatile. This is an interesting strat at running back. We got Zamir Wright, Chuba Hubbard, J.K. Dobbins, and then we've got Trey Benson too. I do like the Benson pick a lot. His landing spot's going to be really big, but right now with no landing spot, I like Trey Benson a lot.
He's probably going to be the first back off the board. So
Yeah, yeah, I think it's great value right now. But I don't feel crazy about your running back core. While I do like the value in White and Chuba, especially, and Trey Benson, I'm a little queasy about J.K. Dobbins right now. But yeah, you just don't have like that it guy. So interested to see like what your thoughts are in your running back core and what you would plan to do. But we got Amon Ra, Marvin Harrison Jr., Tank Dell, Neighbors, Dunze, Tyler Lockett. So you're pretty loaded at wide receiver, although you're putting a lot of stock into rookies, which this seems like a rookie class that you can do that with. And you got two studs and Dell and St. Brown tied to good offenses, right? So it's a very interesting team. I mean, you're starting Mahomes, Kittle, let's say White and Chuba, St. Brown and Dell, then you're flexing to your rookie wide receivers, and you got Lockett hanging around too. So very interesting team. I kind of like it, but I would be a little queasy going into a redraft league personally, the way I personally draft. But hey, maybe it'll pay off. All right, so you got Chase, got Richardson and Goff. I'll take that. A little upside than a boring guy. Ingram at tight end. I'm good with Ingram. Pacheco, Walker, Javante. A little light at running back, but I still like those three guys. Tyreek Hill, Ayuk, Pittman, Pickens, Shakir, Cooks, and we got Coleman. So pretty good at wide receiver. Starting, let's say Richardson and Ingram, Pacheco and Walker, Hill and Ayuk, Pittman and Pickens. So yeah, I'll take this team.
it's super thin at running back, but
It is thin at
I,
running back.
I like the top it. Like if this team stays healthy, this is you don't need play those wide receivers, run your two backs, rotate the third back in when you need them. I think this is solid. Everybody sleeps on Kenneth Walker. I
Yeah.
own way too much Kenneth Walker stock, I think, in the
Yeah.
fan club.
Well, I was huge on Walker last year, and it started off good, as you can see, and then yeah, it was a little inconsistent after that.
I blame Gino. It was all Gino's fault.
Agree. All right, Chase Brown. What's up, Chase? All right, we got Kyler and Njoku. I like the value on both those guys. Cook, Aaron Jones, Monty, Jerome Ford. Okay. CeeDee Lamb, DJ Moore, Rasheed Rice, Josh Downs, Dotson, Palmer. And I really like the value on Lad McKinney right now. So let's see. You're starting Kyler and Njoku, of course. Cook and Jones, Lamb and Moore. Probably flexing Rice. Maybe you can't for the first couple games, but probably flexing Rice most of the season. And Monty would probably end up in the flex as well. But I like Josh Downs a lot in the 7th round. And I like Jahan Dotson a lot in the 10th round. So good value and pretty solid core roster as well. So I like it. Taylor says he sent me a trade in the one quarterback league. I'll have to take a look. Let's see. Andrea, how are you doing? All right, we got Burrow and Pitts. We talked about Burrow tonight. We haven't really talked about Pitts, except I think you said last stream that you don't like Kyle Pitts.
I just we can't keep supporting Kyle Pitts. We can't do it. Can't do it.
I'm going to do it this year just to spite you.
I hope Kirk Cousins tears his other Achilles.
Oh, gosh. I mean, so let's think. I mean, Kirk, pretty good chemistry with Hawkinson, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why do I feel like Kirk never really had a lot of like chemistry with his tight ends though?
I don't know because before that we didn't have any tight ends.
Yeah.
Irv Smith Jr. drops a lot, so
Yeah.
and then Kyle Rudolph. Nobody has chemistry with Kyle Rudolph. He's kind of just a dud out there. Hey,
So
Kyle Rudolph.
it'll be
Um,
interesting to see like if Pitts is really a big part of the offense or not. I don't know.
he can't be any less involved in the offense than he was last year.
This is true.
And yeah.
Let me know or let us know in the chat if you guys are Pitts believers one last year. All right, we got Rashad White, Alvin Kamara, Tajay Spears, Roshan Johnson, Tyler Algier. Little handcuffy here at running back. I like the White confidence at 3.4 though. I still think Kamara is a good pick at the 5.4.
I don't love double Saints stack there.
Yeah.
I know the Saints are just kind of like watching paint dry play football.
Yeah, I mean, Derek Carr still employed. Okay. JJ Olave Metcalf. I like where Watson's going because when he was actually healthy, and that's obviously the concern here. I mean, he was starting to pile up some good games. So in the 7th round, I'll take Watson for sure.
As your 4th wide receiver, yeah.
Yeah.
A really good value.
I like Wicks in the 10th as well. And Gabe Davis is like, okay, fine, I'll take him, right? So we're starting Burrow and Pitts, White and Kamara, JJ Olave, Metcalf, Watson.
Probably, yeah.
I can deal with this. Yeah, why not? Rashad White at the 3.4 is still a steal. Like he's going to move up in ADP, but he's at your RB8 last season. Like, come on. Let's see.
And they can't play. Did they play like the top run defense every week for like the first 7 or 8 weeks, something like that? Like,
because I had so many Rashad White shares, and I kept telling people like, don't panic. I mean, they played Minnesota, best team in the league, and then they played Minnesota's run defense was actually pretty good last year.
It was fine. Yeah, I think it was top 15. I don't know where they finished, but yeah, they had a decent run defense.
Then Chicago, which he actually played well against, but then Philly and New Orleans, then Detroit, who started off really good as a run defense, then got bad as the year went on. But then he really took off after that. Gave you double digits every week except week 17.
We rode the wave towards the end. We were like, see, look, Rashad White paying off.
I feel like Rashad White was my most drafted running back last year, probably next to DeAndre Swift.
It's better than me. I think Tony Pollard was mine. So
yeah, this is the trade that Shane sent me. Trade the 1.1 for Olave, 1.6 in Chuba. So I want to keep Olave, but it is a pretty fair trade. Yeah, I mean, overall, I think it's fair. But I want to keep Olave. Chase says, I was hoping to get Charbs. I like the value of them where I got them. Alan's got a $500 entry league, 12-man PPR. And of course,
that's a big purse.
That's
some change right there. You throw it around.
Of course, if you guys have leagues that you guys are starting to get set up, you can join our Discord, which is down below, completely free to join, and throw them out on there. Still in on Pitts. Arthur Smith is gone. That's true. He can't hurt us anymore. Unless you're
Steelers fan.
Najee and Jalen Warren owners beware. CPAT is Arthur Smith's favorite. Yeah. And who's the tight end that they drafted last year? Oh gosh.
Who, Pittsburgh?
Yeah. I feel like he's going to end up getting all the targets, not Pat Freiermuth.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you, but of course, Freiermuth, the guy who's good.
Yeah. All right, let's look at Pete's team very quickly here.
Oh God.
He drafted Drake May again.
Oh, is for the vibes, man. For the vibes.
I like it. So we got Prescott and Drake May, Sam Laporta early with the Laporta pick. Etienne, Connor, Brown, Chandler. Interesting. Puka, Collins, Ridley, Hopkins, Sutton, Shaheed. I like wide receivers.
Yeah, me too.
I don't dislike your running backs. Do you feel good about Ty Chandler?
I was banging on the table for Ty Chandler all last year. Aaron Jones was banged up, and I think they kind of want to run the ball a little bit more, especially, like I said, rookie quarterback, run the football, helps out a lot. Chase Brown, he had a decent finish to the year. I'm high on Arizona's offense, so I really like James Conner. He gets into the end zone. And then
Sure.
ETN, who the hell knows? Who the hell
I
knows with
like ETN.
Jacksonville? Who knows with Jacksonville?
Yeah.
I really wanted Mostert over the Hopkins pick. Mostert got sniped right in front of me. I wanted to add Mostert right there.
Yeah, I mean, so let's see. We got Prescott, Laporta, Etienne, Connor, Puka, Collins. You're basically flexing Ridley and Hopkins. So you're flexing which I actually think this Tennessee Titans offense is kind of growing on me. We talked about it last stream how I didn't like them, and coincidentally, I'm starting to kind of grow on them a bit. I just think that the pieces are there. So I don't know. If Will Levis can take the next step, I like this offense. So yeah, I'm okay with this team. I like Cortland Sutton still too, and I like Shaheed. So I think you have some, for lack of a better term, flexibility at flex.
I'll have a whole new team by week 6. Don't worry.
So, yeah, I mean, that's the way to do it, right? All right, what did I do tonight? Late round quarterback. So I went with Tua time, and I'm fine with that. Your QB9 last year. But I also like Cousins and Lawrence in this range. And on Sunday, I drafted Justin Herbert. So there's options there. I reached a little bit for Dalton Schultz, which doesn't really look like I needed to, but I would have just taken him at 11.8 anyways. And Schultz is kind of my tight end next to Ferguson in this range that I feel good about. So I'm okay with that. Brees Hall, A-Chain, Swift, Eckler, Charbs, just going for upside at running back today. Then wide receiver, kind of the opposite, just looking for solid dudes. Diggs, Allen, Kirk, Godwin, Dobbs, and Curtis Samuel, my late round wide receiver. So I'll be starting Tua and Schultz, Hall and A-Chain, Diggs and Allen, flexing Kirk and Godwin, but also flex Swift and Eckler. Maybe Dobbs if he doesn't. I mean,
I think this is like a flex a running back, flex a wide receiver type team. I mean, you got 2 home run hitters at the top of the board.
Yeah, that's the fun, right?
Yes. Oh, look, a 60-yard touchdown. Yes.
Sure. So chat, go ahead and let me know how much you like or dislike my team, because that's the best part of the stream. All right, Shane, I'll take a look. It doesn't matter how many pieces Tennessee brings in if Levis has no time in pocket. This is fair.
They're drafting Joe Alt. They better draft Joe Alt. He's a freak left tackle. He's 6'9", 320. He's gonna protect Will Levis if they draft him.
Plus facing Houston twice a year with Hunter and Anderson sounds awful. Isn't it crazy how really Houston just in such a short span, they are the team.
You gotta hit on you just hit on your quarterback. It shows you just hit on your quarterback. The team wasn't terrible before, they were okay. They just had Davis Mills at quarterback.
This is true.
Then they come in and they take a quarterback, and then Will Anderson definitely helps, but
I still believe in just kidding, I don't. I was gonna say it, but I'm still rooting for the backup quarterbacks there. I mean, and even Tennessee, you got some names there.
No, you don't. Tannehill's gone. Tannehill is gone. So it's Malik Willis. Yeah, no, Tannehill's a free agent.
Oh, dang. Well, I was saying Malik Willis.
Yeah, Malik Willis, that's never happening.
And Davis Mills. Come on, those are my guys.
Giraffe neck, no shot. Yeah. Can't have a neck that long.
I know.
His parents let him down. Who names a kid Davis? It's not even David.
Oh, gosh.
Davis. It's not going to be a successful quarterback.
Well, my best friend's name is Davis, so I'm gonna have to
crazy. He's not going to be a successful quarterback. I hate to break it to him.
That's probably true. Also known the AFC South has the DBs cover Collins, Dell, and Diggs. Does anyone though?
Somebody out there's got a DB. Maybe the Jets.
Yeah,
that's about it.
I mean, you gotta be dropping a linebacker, pulling a safety up or something here. This is gonna be the team to play with in Madden for sure. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will go ahead and wrap it up. There's your mock draft for the night. We'll try and get another 1 or 2 in before the week ends. But glad to be back with you guys talking some fantasy. Glad to have Pete here talking fantasy with us. Make sure you guys hit the like button on the way out. And that's gonna do it. Maybe we can start to move into some dynasty content as well, some startup mock drafts for you guys too. But we'll see. We'll see. I've been enjoying the redraft vibes lately as I get back into it. So thank you guys for mocking with us, and thank you guys for hanging out tonight. Pete, you want to say anything before we get out of here?
No, pleasure as always. Good to be back. I gotta get better at this. I feel like this is really gonna help me come August when I actually have to draft real teams. Just keep running this, but always fun as usual. If you want to check out, go to my channel. I do have my first big board up of my draft picks. If you want to get into real draft content, probably gonna drop a mock, my first mock this weekend. So yeah, just check me out after the review sports. You guys know me already, so yeah.
Sweet. Sounds good. All right, guys, we'll be back soon. Everyone have a great night. And if you guys need anything, hit us up on Discord, Instagram, whatever. And we'll talk to you guys soon. With that, I will say thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. And remember, you saw it here on The Catch. And peace.